All right. Now that we are officially 11, I feel like I would really love to spend a bit more time developing our skills so that we can get a little bit tougher, maybe a little bit braver, maybe just learn how to take care of animals. Ugh, I don't really know what path to really focus on in our life. And to be honest, we actually need to relax today because we are feeling pretty darn stressed. Unfortunately, we wouldn't be able to do the brand new defense training even if we wanted. And considering that is a +1 to animals, yes, friends, that is what we want. However, that's 15 stress, and that would leave us like a little huddled pile on the ground. And I think that young Silceria, living out her first life here on Batumna, definitely deserves better than that. Don't you think? So, Anemone, how you doing? So then I was trapped in my room, Anemone says, telling you about the bug she saw in her quarters. Its wings were as big as my hand, and it felt just like, whoa! It was bouncing all over the place, like boing, boing, boing. She gestures excitedly, swinging her arms over her head. The bugs here are so big, and they're everywhere! Huh. I mean, has she ever seen a bug before? I was gonna give it to Tang, she says. She loves gross bug stuff, but she said I should just let it go, because if it stung me, I might get weird mutant powers. I mean, other than the one I already have. I wonder what her parents or her parent or whatever, like whoever and whatever, like conglomeration of people gave her genes, gave her as her genetic enhancement. And I wanted to see if I got more weird mutant powers, so I started jumping around off higher and higher things until I was jumping off the back of the ship, and I got in so much trouble, but it wasn't even that high. She stops in her tracks. Hold on, she says, stooping to rub the irritability at her knees for probably the 100th time in the past 5 minutes. I'm gonna die. I busted up my knees and it's so itchy when my scales grow in. Annie, don't pick at that. Chief Steward and Antecedent's voice, oh my gosh, rings out across the garrison yard, pleasant but firm. It instantly transports you back into the ship creche, tugging on her skirts and calling her auntie. An enemy jumps and stands straight, her hands flying to her side. But Mom, oh, she's so sweet. Of course that would be like the person taking care of us when we were just babies. I also love how the whole colony like raises the kids communally. I mean, so much of this culturally is just so beautiful and inclusive and whole, just like I would dream of like an ideal futuristic home to be. Except, I mean, it has glowing mushrooms, which is definitely a plus. The downside is the death doom and potential chaos lurking outside. But maybe that's just a challenge we have to grow to handle? Oh dear. But Mom, an enemy whines, digging her fingers into her knees as Antecedent approaches you both. It's so scratch-tastically itchy! I know, lovely. Antecedent soothes her, patting down her riotous red hair. But the more you pick at it, the thicker your scales are going to grow in. An enemy tugs her hands under her armpits to keep from scratching. What if I want to have cool scales? She pouts. Antecedent smiles indulgently. At the rate you're going, I'm sure you'll be covered in them before you know it. No need to rush. An enemy's skin is dotted with patches of protective blue-green scales that grow in whenever she gets a cut or scrape. She rubs the patch on her jaw indignantly, the one she got when she ran headfirst into the food synthesizer back on the ship. So we learned her augment. That's really cool. Antecedent opens her satchel and pulls out a bundle of clothes. The queue for the nanoprinter is over a week long, so I patched your pants with scraps from your brother's clothing. Please, try not to put any holes in them. Or yourself, okay? She hands the clothes to an enemy and kisses her on the forehead. An enemy sticks out her tongue and gags. Yuck. An enemy evaluates the clothes as her mom walks away. Galactic, she breathes as she runs her fingers over the odd-colored patches. Then, right there in the middle of the yard, she unashamedly squirms out of her pants and puts on the new ones. Ah, I look like a fighter jet from the Hollows, she exclaims, showing off her new pants. Like when they stencil your kill count on your plane. What? Or like a really cool scar. We'll go ahead and tell her that because I mean, if her patches are places where she's gotten cuts and scrapes, that's a pretty cool augment because then hopefully it will allow you to become stronger and better defended as you get older. But Yeah, I guess that would also encourage you, especially as a rambunctious kid, to like run into literally everything so you can become super awesome scale person. An enemy grins. Yeah, you get it. My pants are scarred, just like me. Oh, okay, an enemy. Well, that was actually a lot to kind of consider. And now we've gotten a little closer to her. And we know she has armor scaled skin. Ooh, that's a good one. All right, we probably need to go ahead and rest in the creche, but I'm just going to glance over, see if anyone has anything somewhat new to say. Oh, Dee swipes at his eyes and hides his face as you approach. Go away, he sniffles. I just want to be left alone. Why won't people just leave me alone? I don't want to be part of this stupid colony. Oh, hang in there, Dees. Cal, are you doing okay? Oops. Yeah, he's still stuck trying to wash it all off his hands. And Mars? Mars is leaning over a hollow screen, chin in hand. She exhales and blows a piece of hair out of her eyes. I hate schoolwork, she says. But my dad's told me that a good education is necessary for all people of culture. So I guess I gotta do it. She scrolls listlessly through her work with one finger. I'm doing the science parts last, though. Okay. Good for you, Mars. And even though I don't really want to do it, I think it's time to go ahead and relax in the lounge. It's nice to take some time off to chill after the stress of school and work, not to mention the mental toll of living on this unpredictable planet. Looks like you're not the only one who needs some downtime. Some of the other kids are also relaxing in the lounge. So I could sit alone, hooked on your hollow palm. Okay, that seems kind of cool. But Mars and Dees are up to something. And I'm kind of worried that Dees might get picked on. So we're going to go over there instead. Okay, but you do stink, you hear Mars defend herself. It's not my fault you can't tell. Maybe your nose stopped working, but the rest of us can smell it. And she waves her hand in front of your nose and makes a PU gesture, then turns to you. He smells awful, right, Sulceria? Well, yes, Dees. Being a bully? I don't want to become a bully, and who is that? Who is that person who's like bullying? I don't want to be anything about that. Stop being so mean, Mars. This whole planet smells awful anyway. Stop being so mean. Aww, Dees is happy about that. You stand toe-to-toe with Mars. She glares at you, then Dees. Oh, fine, she says, defeated. I'm sorry, Dees. I'm just trying to help, but I should have said it in a nicer way. Not everyone in life is going to tell you the truth, you know? Whew. Well, you know what? I'm actually really glad that we were able to, like, we sacrificed a couple cool cards to try to be a good person. And we'll go ahead and forget the wondering. There we are. Our curiosity is growing into other areas after all. Whew. You know, now that we're able to like zip along and get the hang of this, I think life is probably going to be moving a little faster. Mars? Mars yawns as you approach, making no attempt to hide it. It's so boring here. I just watch holovids all day and all night. Why should I bother sleeping? It's not like I need to save my energy for anything. She sighs. I wish I were in a holovid. Then maybe something interesting would happen. Alright. Mom, Dad, Cal? Your dad doesn't have time to chat, but he waves hello. Cal? Oh, Cal's still really upset. I kind of want to go learn more biology so that he can feel a little bit better. Your mom blinks at you as though she hasn't seen you in a while. Wow, you're getting big, she mutters, shaking her head in disbelief. I would try to be organized, but I have a lot more going on for me right now. Oh, hey, Dees! What's up? Dees is sitting in the grass near the big gates that lead out to the jungle. He's just staring out into nothingness and picking absent-mindedly at the weeds. He pretends not to notice as you approach. You know, he really doesn't like being talked to, so let's just sit down with him. I'm not going to tease him. I'm not going to ask if he plays a game. I'm not going to ask if he's okay, because he seems to like to open up on his own time. He shifts uncomfortably as you sit, but doesn't say anything. You both just hang out, saying and doing nothing. You stare out the big gates. The grass in the colony is trimmed short by garden bots. But out there, it's wild and as high as your waist. Head surveyor Tonin is prepping his equipment for an outing. He's bringing a lot. Maybe he's going to stay out overnight. You're starting to wonder if Deese will ever acknowledge you when he says, I've got to go. He starts down the hill. He pauses and says, this is a good spot. I'll probably come back here tomorrow. Whoa! Have we just like... Oh, okay. I think we're building up a pretty solid friendship with him as well. Which, Tangent, how are you doing? Yeah, we're apparently just bothering her. An enemy, how you doing? And then an enemy rolls a bobber fruit down her arm and flicks it to you with her elbow, then munches down on one of her own while she watches the construction crews work on the wall. Kinda cool, huh? She says. Soon this place is gonna be like a real colony. Alright, we might want to try to get to the point where we can train together with her. And speaking of training and real colonies, I do think we're going to try to improve a little bit in combat and also working on animals today. I kind of want to get our animals up pretty high. But at the same time, I feel like maybe I should go a little bit in biology. But also, I want to have some ability to protect myself. So let's do defense training. You attend your first session of Security Chief Rhett's self-defense classes. It's a small class, mostly security officers and other adults. You and an enemy are the only kids. She gives you a wink and a cheesy thumbs up as you listen to Rhett rant about how everyone in the colony needs to learn self-defense. You could be walking along, thinking you're safe within the walls, and a flying animal could swoop in out of the sky. Then what would you do? Rhett chops the air with his hand. I'll tell you what you're going to do. You're going to chop that beast right in the throat. Hiya! He points to the assembled class. But only if you learn what I'm about to teach you. And the only way to learn is by doing. Who wants to volunteer for the demonstration? With an enemy for strength. Oh boy. I think we're going to almost lackadaisically walk into this. We might get hurt. I don't know. Should I try to be a little brave? I think, you know, no one in the colony has ever legitimately tried to hurt us, so I could see how we might just be really trusting and be like, oh yeah, this is totally gonna be okay. We'll step forward. The security chief doesn't scare you, or so you pretend. Rhett is like the biggest adult you know, and he's so intense. You step forward, and Rhett nods as he crouches down. Okay, he says. I'm a manticore, stalking you through the forest. What'll you do? I think actually run away. I think that is a good thing to do for self-defense. Because, like Dad was saying, we need to know when to run away. And a manticore sounds big. There's a smattering of laughter among the other students, but you have to live out your truth. If you see a manticore, you are out. Rhett doesn't laugh. That's correct, he says proudly. Only engage with the enemy when there's no other alternative. No one walks away from a fight without getting hurt. So the first rule of self-defense is not to put yourself in situations where you need to fight. Once you've learned situational awareness, we'll move on to hand-to-hand self-defense, drawing on a variety of martial arts. Only when I'm confident that you're ready will we advance to weapons. There aren't that many weapons in the colony. Mostly stun gloves and batons, with a few phase rifles. You hope you don't have to use them, but it will be good to know how. Heck! Oh boy. One random card locked in a slot. Okay. Alright, let's see. Well, we could do 1, 2, but I think sets neighbors to this value. Uh-oh. So that could actually be really tricky. I didn't realize that 1 might actually be something we struggle a little bit with. So maybe I'll put the 1 at the very back, then do this one, and then do these 2. So 1, actually maybe distraction will work. Yeah, we'll use distraction. And then hot by facts. Oh, we're just 1 short. Okay, so let's see if that one's kind of glued in place. There we go. First words actually helps us out because we get the color bonus and a streak. Oh, that's much better. Sweet. I learned a little bit about animals. Apparently manticores. I think that there's a high chance they might try to eat me. Not sure how I feel about that. Whoa, it's already pollen again? Oh wow, it's like really polleny actually. So our toughness, I guess, how much did that raise our animals? By 2. Wow. Wow, how am I gonna learn things? It feels like it takes forever to learn when we're just a little kid. Oh hey, Dad. What do you have to say? You meet your dad adjusting a watering pot on your mom's flower garden. He's having a sneezing fit, his eyes runny and red. You're alarmed. You've never seen him look sick before. People were hardly ever ill on the stratospheric, except sometimes when the zero-G rooms made them queasy. Not to worry, my little beanstalk, he says nasally. I'll be fine. It's just this pollen making my head a little stuffy. He wipes his nose with a handkerchief and looks around. Everywhere you turn, the air is soupy and tinged with pink from all the floating pollen. On Earth, your dad tells you, we used to call this hay fever. Even though it had nothing to do with hay, your mom cuts in, carrying a large bouquet of flowers. The native flowers seem to be in full bloom this time of year. She buries her nose deep in them, and they smell fantastic. Your dad smiles and kindly agrees that they sure are beautiful. Then he blows his nose loudly. Tell them you're scared of pollen and we're gonna sniff these flowers. They do smell good and they look harmless. Your dad's eyes look so sad, but maybe it's just the allergies. Hey, Sulceria, I know the last few weeks have been very hard on you. This might be a good time to relax and stick in around in the quarters wing. Oh, I thought I was handling it pretty good, Dad. I really did. Like, I'm not very stressed. I'm trying to go ahead and, like, learn some new skills. Maybe that's a sign I should put a little bit more time in my biology. Oh, and Cal's doing a little better, I think. Cal is kicking a ball against the garden fence post, cheering when it bounces back towards him. Ever since we landed here, I don't play a lot of sports ball, he says, picking up the ball and tucking it under his arm. An enemy and I used to play a lot, but honestly, I think I like working in the garden more. He smiles up at the sky. I just like doing stuff that feels like it makes a difference, you know? I don't just want to play all the time like an enemy. Well, to be fair, one day she really may actually be able to help out the colony by defending it. But that is also a good point from Cal and does make me think maybe I should actually turn my attention back to the biology just for now, because I would really like to go ahead and be able to like get that card unlocked for him. I want to get us up to 40 on biology. That might be what I focus on for a little bit, because I really want to see our friend happy, and that's only 13 away, which is like, you know, almost a whole year of my life, but we've got to do what we've got to do. So alright guys, thank you so much for joining me on another wonderful set of months. This time nobody died. Oh, ew, a mushroom log, yay! Oh man, oh I'm so excited! We're gonna have to like pick who to give that to. But thank you for joining me, my friends, and if you would like to join us on this and literally over 10,000 adventures, do please consider subscribing, but most importantly, stay curious, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye!